Good evening and welcome to Business Beat, the business show that marches to its own beat. I'm your host, Vuyisa Qabaka. We are finally down to the last show of the season, and I trust that you've learned a great deal and have connected to some amazing entrepreneurs right here in our studios in Cape Town. This evening is no different. Tonight, we get to meet yet another dynamic entrepreneur and who's been through trials and tribulations, but through all of that has overcome multiple challenges and faced fear and looked beyond it, and is truly on a path to success. We are joined tonight by Thulani Khoza, a motivational speaker and entrepreneur who hails from Mpumalanga and is now South Africa's very first creator of South Africa's first smartphone. Thulani, good evening and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Papa Kunjan.
Good, man. Siyaphila mhlekazi. It's been an amazing journey for us, and I'm sure it's been an amazing journey for you. So talk to me about the background to the man behind the T-Touch phone.
Well, Thulani Khoza is a young boy who grew up in Bushbuckridge, in Mpumalanga. I grew up under, an environment whereby there was no umzali, It was a matter of ukuthi ngihlala no mamkhulu makashona, ngihlale no bhuti, ubhuti makashona, I found myself staying in the church. But I think one of the things that kept me going was the fact that maybe, I had a vision, and I always wanted to be great. I remember when I was young, I used to say, I want to be a doctor. But, I never actually path, to become a doctor, but I'm about to become a doctor in computer science. But I wanted to be a medical doctor, but I will be a doctor in computer science. So basically, that's where I come from, and obviously it's humbling. A lot of people will be telling me, you're supposed to be bombastic, you're supposed to be all that. I'm just down to earth, and I believe that I'm a voice for hope for other people who are coming after me, and obviously I want to give hope to those people.
Yeah. So talk to us about the journey, the achievements, and to the point where we are today, where we have the T-Touch mobile ready for market, ready to take on the world. What have been the achievements that you most value and cherish in terms of the milestones you've achieved and things that are critical to your journey?
I think one of my achievements was when I got a cum laude at Wits University. And because of the cum laude, and then I was sent down to the UK to go study there. And obviously, that for me, it was a lifetime achievement, because I look at myself, I'm like, but, I come from a very poor background, but look, I'm getting to the flight, and I'm flying down to the UK. And when I get there, I get to meet different people. When I was doing my MBA not so long ago, I remember sharing a stage with General Colin Powell in the US, and that for me, it was phenomenal.
Now, let's now get into T-Touch Mobile, okay? You've now cracked this conundrum that we've been all, I think, buying phones from all over the world. Where did the journey for that start?
Well, the journey all started basically when I developed a smartphone, and the smartphone was to enhance, people's, security on their smartphone. So when I developed the smartphone, people from the UK, they then said to me, this app of yours is good, and I sat down, I said, look, I have an app that everybody's talking about, so I need to enhance what I've already have, in my hands. I said, no, let me create a smartphone, give people security that is 99.9 secured. So I'm giving you a lifestyle. You just have to wake up in the morning, and you don't have to worry about anything, but, just live your life.
What is the operating system that the phone runs on at the moment?
Well, it runs on Android, and it runs on Android, but in terms of security, it's being compared in the UK, we are #1 currently.
Brilliant. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And talk us now through, you're about to get into the market in South Africa. Are you getting the channel marketing support from the major cell phone providers? Is everybody coming to you and saying, let's have a look at the spectrum of your phone, let's get it into market? And what else are you looking to do with the phone?
Basically, we have 4 ranges in terms of our phones, and we've got 3 ranges in terms of our tablets. Already we have started distributing our tablets to schools, and also in terms of our phones, we have orders, in 12 countries. That includes your Mexico, your UK, your US, your Portugal, your Angola, your Botswana, your Lesotho. So we've got 12 countries already who are interested in our smartphone.
Amazing.
They've sent us letters to say, we want to buy smartphones from your company. So we've got up-to-date orders of 1.350 million smartphones that we need to ship out on the day of our launch.
Wow. And you're manufacturing these in South Africa as well. So truly proudly South African.
We're doing this in South Africa.
Amazing.
In Nelspruit.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, for someone watching and they say, I'm proudly South African, I want to support Thulani, what an amazing story. What price point are you looking at to position these products?
Well, I'll say the price point, because we've got 4 ranges, the price point will be starting from $499 up to $7,000.
Very competitive.
Yeah.
Very and you were mentioning to me that, it tends, you've made sure that from a costing point of view, it's more accessible for the local market as well.
For sure.
That's incredible.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, we have a lot of young people come onto the show, and young entrepreneurs getting started, building their businesses. One of the key thing that they always talk about is the lack of access to funding. How have you found your journey, and what would you say to them to overcome it?
One of the things that always strikes me is when somebody says, we don't have funding. I always ask them questions. The question would be, where were you on Friday? They'll be telling me we're at News Cafe. How much did you spend there? I spent $1,000. I say, look, why didn't you take $1,000 and invest in your business? Like, us young people, we run into things that will not help us in return. Do you get what I'm saying? So I had to sacrifice myself. I had to sacrifice my time. I had to sacrifice the other things that other people were doing. And I had to take that money and invest in my project.
Amazing.
Up to date, I don't have a government funding. I'm doing it myself. So for you to get the success that you want, don't go outside and look for funding. You have your own funding yourself. The money that you spend every day, the money that you spend on your booze, the money that you spend on certain things, you can take that money and invest in your own business.
Now, we're at the end of our show, and you're the final episode, and we've really had a great time. What are your closing words of motivation for young people who watching you today and saying, for someone who's been through so much adversity, how is it that you can still stand here today and be so encouraging and so dynamic in your approach? What would be your last words?
My last word will be, nobody owes you anything, but you owe it to yourself to be the great person that you want to be. Not even your parents. Your parents don't owe you anything. The government owes you nothing. Nobody owes you anything, but you owe it to yourself to be the great person that you want to be in life.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Thulani. It has been great having you here. That was an amazing story of Thulani Khoza, the founder of T-Touch Mobile, South Africa's very first smartphone. And we're really grateful to have him here in our final episode of the show. Join us after the break as we recap on a wonderful season of Business Beat. Welcome back. Now, before the break, we're joined by the founder of Thules Telecoms and the brain power behind T-Touch Mobile, Thulani Khoza. What an amazing story of a dynamic young man who's turned around his life and faced multiple areas of adversity and is now leading the charge in smartphone technology development. Now, when we started out in the season, we got amazing stories from great entrepreneurs, both men and women, who are pushing the boundaries and changing the course of not only their businesses, but also their communities, as well as their success stories. Let's take a look at where we started in the first week.
Today I'll be talking mainly on the types of business ownerships that exist here. If you look at the business existence in South Africa, we have 4 types: the sole trader or the sole proprietor. We've got a partnership, You've got the closed corporation, which is mainly known as the CC. But CC doesn't exist anymore, or you cannot register as a CC any longer since 2011. And you have the more commonly used entity, which is the PTY Limited, which is only the companies. Now, if you look at all these four, there are actually differences in the four that exist. I'll just go through very briefly on each of them. If you look at a sole trader, who is a sole trader? It's a one-person show, and he owns the whole business. And how is it formed? Actually, you don't have any formal way of forming it. It is just there. You are a sole proprietor. The liabilities, the owner of the business is liable for all the debts that exist in it. Then you have the existence of it. It exists as long as the sole proprietor is in existence. When you talk about partnership, partnership is commonly, formed between 2 or 50 people, and you have partners who are liable for all the things that they own, and then you have partnership agreement over there. If partners change, they have to sign documents. But the most common one, and I'm not going to talk about the CC, the most commonly used one is your PTY Limited. PTY Limited, where many people use PTY Limited, they are shareholders and directors. And how is it formed? It is formed by a memorandum of incorporation, and it is registered at CIPC, CIPC. The company is only liable for its debts. So if you are a member or a director in it, your house and things won't be liable unless you have signed it as a surety. That is a big difference in it that comes. A company continues to exist even when the shareholders or the directors no longer exist over there. Sometimes it is difficult to end a company, PTY Limited, until you go and get a lawyer and have it signed or deregister yourself on the CIPC. Very important, the assets belong to the company, not to the shareholders. So if the company ends, the assets are shared among the directors that are the records must be kept for income tax and SARS, and all records must be written and recorded. This actually covers up all the entities that exist today in South Africa. Thank you.
I hope you took plenty of notes on how you can look to start your business and the different forms of business ownership. We now move on to the next thing we're able to learn, and that is how to go about registering your company. Take some notes.
Today we'll be covering up a topic that is very important: how to register a business. Everybody wants to start a business, but the most important part they forget is to register. And to be a good citizen, you've got to start by registering your company. In terms of the Companies Act 2008, a company may be registered with or without a company name. So when you are registering a company with at CIPC, you can do it automatically. You can go on their website and do it automatically by just reserving 4 names first. There is a cost with every registration that you will do. You can do it on your own, or you can get an expert to do it. I advise on getting an expert to help you out with all these things. Businesses that wish to transact with government and formal sector and wish to access the types of government support are generally required to register with CIPC. When you register with CIPC, you know that you get a CK number, and that proves that you are a business that is registered and recognized. Besides that, you've got to then take the second step. You get your tax clearance certificate. The tax clearance certificate you get from SARS, and that is very important for any business because it allows you to show that you are a business of good standing. Thirdly, when you get the second part, try and apply for your BE, triple B certificate. Nowadays, you can get it online, so you don't have to go and look for agencies to help you out to get a BE certificate. Once you get the third part out of the way, then the fourth part is open a business account. And here I emphasize not a grocery account, not your personal account, your business account, because that shows that you are now in the world of business. When you send people invoices, you have your business account written over there. Then you start becoming recognized as a worthwhile business person. My advice to many of the business people is that when you have this 4-part, try and keep, or if you don't know how to keep your accounts and everything ready, try and keep an accountant. It's very important because it's not going to be an arm and a leg. If your business is doing well and you know how to keep records, then you can do it on your own. But you need an accountant to help you out when you are doing your returns and everything. All this actually adds up to make you the best business person doing the best practice. Thank you.
I hope you got plenty of notes and you've learned a great deal as to how you're going to register your company. Let's now take a quick ad break, but join us again after the break as we unpack more all the amazing lessons we've learned during the course of the season. After the break. Welcome back to Business Beat. This is the final show of our first season. And as we said earlier, you've missed out on a great deal of information if you're only starting to watch the show now. But don't you worry, we're now recapping everything we've learned in the past season. And as we moved on, now that you've started your company, you know what type of ownership you want and you know how to register it. You're going to need to know what legalities are involved in getting started with your business. Do take some notes.
Hi there. Starting a new business takes a lot of planning. Without the planning, you wouldn't know how the business looks like, what the structure looks like, and again, what requirements would be set for the business to run. Starting the business with a business case or business plan determines how much resources you're going to require, how much detail of funding you're going to require, and gives you some kind of idea of what the financial plan is going forward with regards to costing and as well as a cash flow projection going forward. That determines as well what kind of structure you're going to go into. Once you go into a structure, you determine you're either going to go into a sole proprietor, you can buy an old CC, a closed corporation, or into a private company. These again determine what kind of requirements you have in a business and what the legal requirements would be. For argument's sake, in most of these, you need to register a name. Once you register a name, you register a name through the SIPC. When you register with SIPC, it gives you access to a lot of other things as well. Firstly, automatically registered for tax, income tax. Other items you would be registered for would be UIF, Skills Development Levy, the COID, which is the Occupational and Injuries Diseases, as well as your VAT, depending on the size of the business. Once your turnover is above R1 million, you would be required to register for VAT. These things all combined make it for a business very important to put your business in place. Over and above that, certain industries would require you to register as well, let's say for argument's sake, with the bargaining council or the metal industry bargaining councils, as well as industry related. Once you have a liquor license required, those licenses would be a requirement as a legal requirement in your business.
Thank you so much to Pete Fenter. What an amazing and knowledgeable guest for him to contribute to the show. And as we move on and we understand a little bit more about how to get our companies properly structured legally, we also were joined by Uzandi Lenyao, who was able to tell us how to best market your business. Take a look.
I'm here to talk about how important marketing your business is. So marketing is as important as it doesn't matter how good your product or services are, if no one knows about them, you are actually not going to go anywhere with your business. So it is very important to understand that without marketing, you're actually impacting on the potential of growing your business. one needs to be able to, after they've identified who their target market is, you need to consistently remind the people of how good your product is. There's a saying that the more people know about your product, the higher the chances of them buying or using your product. So one wants to be able to market the product and services as far as possible so that they can get a pool of people that will be interested in buying that product. The way it's so important is that that directly speaks to the sales. It speaks directly to your turnover. Once you know exactly who you are selling to, you are able to budget around what your growth prospects are in the business, because you now know how much people are interested in buying your product, how much they are trusting you, how much they are coming back to buy again from you. In that way, you can plan for your growth. When you approach financial institutions for support, when they do their own due diligence, they are able to identify the same strengths of your business that you have identified in terms of their possible growth. That way, they are able to pinpoint who exactly is buying from you, when they're buying from you, how they are receiving their product, and how quickly they come back to order more products for you. So marketing is the key growth analysis that needs to be done thoroughly in your planning, because that is where you know exactly, are you intending to sell a product that is going to be positively received, or is your product just not getting enough support? That way you can identify if there's a risk is in even starting that type of business, if there's going to be stability or if there's potential growth in starting that particular business. So before you even start the business, you need to be able to identify and be comfortable with how much potential income you will generate from the business.
We've been so incredibly blessed to have such amazing experts sharing their knowledge and telling you how to go about finding your journey in entrepreneurship. I've also had an amazing time on the show, meeting some amazing guests, as well as meeting some incredible entrepreneurs doing some dynamic things. Do share with us your favorite story. I've really loved hearing some of your feedback on our social media. You'll find us on Facebook or on Twitter. It's @_businessbeat. Now, when I think about the journey of starting the show and getting to where we are today, it's been a whirlwind of activity and an amazing tapestry of amazing entrepreneurial stories. Who can forget one young Monwabisi Luthuli, who, again, from being born blind and only being able to see from 6 years old, is now building an amazing an incredibly high growth property development business and moving into the financial services industry with some dynamic, unique ideas. This evening's guest, Thulani, with all the adversity he's faced. And again, who can forget some of our amazing couples that have been on the show who are working together to build incredible businesses. Now, you know, for me, I don't know about you, but Women's Month has been an amazing series of shows of incredible women changing the industries that they are in. We can remember Noli Mini from Relax Bars. We can remember the dynamic duo of sisters from Naturally Good. It's been such an incredible journey of different stories. We will be coming out with a YouTube channel, so do go and like the YouTube channel on Cape Town TV to see some of these incredible stories of how many young people, as well as slightly older people, are creating and developing amazing businesses right here in Cape Town, and right here telling us about their stories right here at Cape Town TV. Now, even though this is our last show, it doesn't mean that Business Beat will not be back for another season. So do continue to catch up with us, and do also continue to watch our repeat shows every Thursday evening at 7:30. It's been an incredible experience for me personally, and I'd like to thank the production team here at Cape Town TV and the amazing crew that has worked on this first season. A lot of you come to me in the shops, and sometimes it almost feels a little bit strange to say hi, but I've enjoyed your amazing feedback, and we've consistently tried to package and produce an amazing show for you. So do look out for feedback on when the new season of Business Beat will be back. And I certainly look forward to telling you more stories of some incredible entrepreneurs doing amazing things in South Africa as well as in Cape Town. We also look forward to, again, bringing the best experts in different industries to share their knowledge on how you can get your journey going and how you can get started in this particular journey. And as we know, South Africa has got a unique challenge of weak entrepreneurship activity. And this is why we need to improve our total entrepreneurship activity. And it all comes back down to how we share our stories, how we focus on our growth, and how we continue to take this thing forward. This has been Business Beat, and my name is Vuyisa Qabaka. It's been an amazing opportunity to be here with you. Continue to touch base with us, both on social media as well as Facebook, or otherwise find us on YouTube and the repeat shows on Cape Town TV. Good night.